doing the floor.
Nice. That was a good entry, man.
So where does Walt go?
So bad.
Okay. Am I in the video series?
You gotta be like closer to center.
We should push this back further. I think we're okay.
I don't know, man. I think we should push it back. So this is weekly trek-in number 9?
10.
10. Holy shit, guys.
Holy shit, God.
Wow.
We've still made it.
We're still doing it. So yeah, this is weekly trek-in number 10. We are still at the Kajo Resort.
There's some beautiful clouds that the camera can't see, but
wow, those are absolutely gorgeous.
These are pretty good too.
Those are. Also, Andy and I are going to be drinking real Redbull. So we know it looks sort of like syrup. It's not, maybe.
Water.
But
It's not.
okay, so to go right into the week, what do we want to talk about first?
How about the Airbnb situation?
Oh yeah, okay. So I'll talk a little bit about that. So for those of you who watch our Instagram story, what happened with our Airbnb is, so it's sort of like a resort, and it's run by this French guy and his wife, and they had it listed as they had it listed as the entire place, 6 bedrooms for $30 a night. And so we're like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, it seemed kind of fishy, but we, whatever, we did it. And then we get here and we find out that it's actually $30 per room per night. They actually entered the information incorrectly. So we felt really awkward because it was like,
That was a weird night.
we're stealing a lot of money from them, technically, like $1,600.
Really, they just messed up.
They messed up. But so we felt pretty bad, and so we kind of were not sure how that was going to turn out. And the next morning they said, well, we can refund you for the nights you've been here, or you guys can pay us another extra $150 a person, which we didn't necessarily want to do, but we understood that we need to not cost them money.
Yeah, they need to break even.
Yeah.
We're still getting a steal on
Yeah,
this
we're still
place.
getting 50% off their 50% price. So
It's not too bad.
no, it's not too bad. So, and to help sweeten the deal is I I finished their Airbnb listing, made it all correctly. I had to make a couple different listings for them, but so they're good on that end now, and I'm helping them figure out that technology. So,
So in a related note, if you know any exotic Airbnbs that need a couple guys to come in and help them out.
where are your guys?
What was that? There's a lot of wildlife out here. We just saw a snail in the wild
We did.
and a big bug.
But we were really worried about, we were sort of worried about if it was going to be awkward, as we were stealing this much money from
Yeah.
the Airbnb, and it's totally not. Dom is a great dude. We've got a story to tell.
In fact, he took us out one night, and I don't know, we started, it just evolved from we were drinking here for a while, just hanging out with them, and then it was like, oh yes, let's go out to eat, what do you think? Oh yeah, and we're like, okay, sure. And then we went to this place, and it was on the side of this road, and like most of the food places in Vietnam, and he's ordering all sorts of stuff. He's we'd been drinking a little bit at this point, so he's back in the kitchen, telling us, oh, could you cook this more? And he doesn't know Vietnamese very well, so he's doing a lot of sign language.
He does say he speaks Vietnamese with his body, so he will do the body language and no, come here. No. It's kind of funny.
It is funny.
Yeah, so we had dinner there and then moved on to
had crab for the first time. Well, I did. I had crab for the first time ever.
I absolutely sliced my finger open on a crab spike. We're trying to break it open. So I don't know. Crab is a joke.
I've got a crab thing too. I thought I was maybe allergic, but I think I'm not now. So that's good.
Yeah, that's good for you.
All
crab
crab
is too much work for me to order again.
That's what people that we've talked about this before on our episodes, is how much I don't like working for my food. And crab is one of those foods.
It is.
It's good though.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Whatever.
It brings up an interesting point. I remember when I was in China, some of my coworkers or friends or something were like, "Do you guys have boneless chicken in the U.S.?" They like thought that was so gross.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, you know, chicken has bones in it, right? Like, you can't have boneless chicken.
That's funny.
That is funny.
I love boneless chicken.
Me too.
It's
You don't have to work.
amazing.
You don't have
Yeah.
to mess
Pop
around with
it
the
in,
bones.
just
Yeah.
eat.
Oh, also during all this time, an Iowa boy was coming and staying with us.
Yeah, my friend Connor came and visited. He was in. He's been doing this little tour of Southeast Asia, and so he spent a day and 2 days in Saigon. I went into town, rode my moped in, and showed him around the off the beaten path spots. So like we tried to go to the 3K bar where we filmed our first couple trek-ins, but it has moved the location. It just like picked up and moved down the street. So
weird.
Yeah. That's
yeah,
weird.
but we got Duc from our Duc place. I showed him where we used to live and took him to the rock climbing gym. It was a fun day. On the way into town, actually, this is something interesting. I don't know if I'm getting too deep down the rabbit hole, but I was driving the moped in about an hour on these highways to get into Saigon, and at this one intersection that was really, really busy, saw this like Buddhist monk just sitting there with he was holding a bowl, which signifies like a container. The Buddhists view the body as like a container, and it's an empty container, and you create what the container is by the things you put in it. So your thoughts, your Redbull syrup, your all that
Right.
stuff. And he's just sitting there holding this bowl like with his coat draped over it, like there was no way for you to like give him money or anything.
Really, he was just a beggar, and the bowl was
Yeah.
like, for people
The
to
owner
put
of the
money in.
Airbnb, Twee, was saying that, not a real Buddhist.
I think
Like,
he was a real
beggar.
Buddhist. He's just
Huh.
he's just sitting there in this chaotic like traffic whizzing by, like all these mopeds just come up and stop right in front of him and around him, and you'd think like you would want to like check, like surely it would be so hard to stay as focused as he was, but he was just boom the whole time. And as we vroom, 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 like when you take off of those stoplights, there is a chorus of engines just vroom, because it's little engines, but it's like 40 of them, 50 of them at the same time, and he's remained stoic through it. It's pretty cool. So I showed Connor around the city, and then he came out here. We drove at night, and we had a good time.
So
Thanks for
sorry to
visiting.
go back and forth, but anyways, Connor is with us now. He's a really cool guy, and we're at the restaurant eating the crab.
Yeah, and so we were there, and Dom brought a bottle of wine to continue the drinking festivities. We were still drinking, and then...
And a bottle of Absolute vodka.
Oh,
I
yeah!
forgot about that.
Uh-huh! And so then from there, he's like, we go to a cafe, because Brent, the guy we brought up in our last one, suggested a new cafe that's up in Duc Hoa. So we went there, and that was a journey in itself.
It's like a half completed cafe. It was really nice.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like the upstairs wasn't done being furnished, and you could tell it was brand new.
30 seconds. We were in there for 30 seconds. Dom's he's got the bottle of Absolute in his hand, and he's behind the counter, like pointing at the things. All the employees are like, sir, excuse me, like everybody's trying to order. It was just a mess.
He was making a point of like he has lived here for like 10 years, and
here and there and back.
and he does business here. He really knows Vietnam and the Vietnamese, and he's like bringing up the point that he tried to get just juice so that we could add our vodka to the juice, and they had juices listed on their menu, and he's like, so do you have this? And they're like, no, don't have. He's like, see, look, so they have these listed here, but it's like don't have, don't have, don't have, don't have. He's like,
Which you see
It
all
happens
the
a
time.
lot,
At,
actually.
like
That's
every
what you
restaurant.
get.
There's
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff they don't have.
It's it's like a
And I would guess that that's
visual
just
thing.
like holes in... I don't know. But I guess that's sort of like a holes in the supply chain thing, like they run out of something.
I don't think so. I think it's like cost, like they have it on there because it looks good and they don't order it.
I don't know. I think it's more. I was thinking what Evan was thinking.
Could be wrong.
Who knows though?
We
Who
don't
knows? I think the only way to find out is that one of us needs to get a job at Bling Cafe, and so we're gonna report in next week.
I'm not sure how that would work out.
Walker will report in.
Yeah, one of us
One
needs to
of
get a
us
job.
needs to get a job, please, guys.
And then after that, after the cafe, we played pool with Dom and his daughter. drank more of the
We were
absolute-
all terrible.
We were all very bad.
I won a game. You guys keep saying we were all terrible.
Yeah, but the game took like 40 minutes.
Still won it. When it was time to close, I closed.
Whatever, man.
I'm a pool shark, baby.
And then we came back here, we drank some more, and then Dom took us to another little bar. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, it was a weird bar. But it was a really fun night with him.
It was a
He's
blast.
He's a fun guy.
Yeah. And so that was that night. And then I believe like 2 days before, Dom took us out to the Coochie Tunnels. Out,
Yeah.
and that's northwest of Ho Chi Minh City. And so what the Coochie Tunnels are, it's a Vietnam War, I don't know, what do you call that?
Memorial.
Memorial? It's not
It's
relic.
Memorial of like the Coochie tunnels and that stuff.
Well, it's just like a.
It's a relic. I don't know.
site.
It's like a
site.
museum.
It's a
I don't like
site.
site.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a site.
So the Coochie Tunnels were a famous place where it's like not too far
Yeah,
out of
not
Ho
a
Chi
memorial.
Minh, and the villagers were supported the North Vietnamese, so sort of like Viet Cong, and they had like this elaborate tunnel system where they could like hide in the jungle from U.S. soldiers. They were like 10 kilometers from a U.S. base, and it was very strategic because it was on the Saigon River. But anyway, we got to see these tiny little tunnels and got to hear about how intricate they were.
And run through them.
Run through.
Yeah.
Run.
We'll post
They're
a
really tiny.
we'll post a
Squatting.
video on YouTube about just like our day there. It'll probably be just like a 2 or 3 minute video, but so you'll be able to learn a little bit more about it there.
Saw all their gnarly traps.
Yeah, they got a lot of
Like,
just gnarly traps.
Like tiger traps with bamboo sticking out and like things. They made a lot of things from like discarded and unexploded like U.S. bombs and mines and stuff. And
Yeah.
they had some really, really ingenious stuff. Like you get to see really how guerrilla that war was on
Yeah.
the side. Like
Yeah.
they didn't have the supplies that we had, and they figured out a strategy to beat us, and pretty impressive.
And these tunnels are like, they're like this big, like you'll find the entrance, there could be 8 entrances to one area. It's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just picture a U.S. soldier having to like crawl through that, and it's just anyway.
That would be terrible.
Yeah, we also got to
Absolutely
fire an M60 machine gun.
Yeah, it was good fun, but it was like it was the quickest $20 I ever spent.
Yeah.
Because it's like a fully automatic. So you pull the trigger and then a second and a half and it's your $20 is gone.
Yeah, it was $2 a bullet.
It'd be fun if you brought like if you slapped down like $200 and you could just really have a good time with it, but I was not willing to do that.
No, but we did get to shoot an M60 and that was cool.
Yeah, it was way cool.
And then
And the ride there and back was so beautiful.
yeah.
The countryside was
Yeah.
absolutely gorgeous.
it was about an hour and a half hour and a half on bike from here.
And the road, though, was at times way sketchy.
Yeah.
Like huge
Yeah.
trucks barreling down and like
Passing on a two-way.
passing on a two-way, passing like little mopeds while like we're meeting them and like everyone's just trying to fit on the road with this jackass truck.
Who's just
barreling
blaring
down.
his horn
it's
like
an
that's
absolute
gonna
nut,
help
yeah.
anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was legitimately scared twice, I think.
I
Like with
wasn't.
the van and the truck. Well, you got nerves of steel, buddy,
Yeah, baby.
and a heart of
Darkness.
I was gonna say gold because it's really malleable, and yours.
That's a great Neil Young song, Heart of Gold. Can we interlude that?
No thanks. So, and then after the tunnels and after almost getting hit by a truck on the road, we went to a temple.
We have video of that truck.
I was thinking about trying to throw it up,
Yeah.
so we'll see.
Yeah, so after that we went to this hill, this beautiful little hill inside this Buddhist temple. It's a temple that the president of Vietnam before the current one, they just like elected one in 2016, I believe.
Yeah.
The one previous, so the Obama, if you will, was from Duc Hoa, is what I saw on Wikipedia.
Ah.
And so that guy built this giant temple right out in town here, and it was built to his mother, and it is GD beautiful.
It's gorgeous,
It is
yeah.
amazing.
Dom was saying it was like $10 million. I mean, I don't know like how much he knows about
Yeah,
it.
but he
Talking about,
said
like,
it was all
$10 million
like,
worth of gold was in it.
He said
oh yeah. Yeah, you
I
said
don't
there was a
know.
lot of gold.
It was expensive because it's like beautiful wood and stonework
It's
and
beautiful. It's an immaculate place, and like even the trees.
I would be
cost
surprised if
a
that place
lot.
was only 10 million. I would be surprised.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
cost
really
of
know.
labor here is pretty cheap. So that's just kind of the same figuring we were doing when we were like trying to figure out how we got this Airbnb for so cheap.
Yeah.
Like $8 a day,
$8 a night for this.
and like free breakfast, and like lights, electricity, air conditioning.
yeah. Anyway,
So there's this beautiful little hill out back that is just like the perfect place for a young Buddha to train his mind.
oh, and it's also weird with like those temples, like in the altars, like you can leave like gifts or something to the people in the pictures, and they're like little hostess type cakes,
Yeah.
or bottles of water.
Yeah.
Sometimes like
I thought
it's
those
just-
were for us to buy. yeah. I was like, it's so odd that they would have that. That just kind of ruins the vibe.
No, they're offerings.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, I mean they have like, I remember. I mean they've had those. It's a very like Buddhist country, and so they have, every shop that you'll go into will have this little shrine, and our first hotel that we were in, right next to the desk, they had one, and I remember seeing like a 24 pack of Heineken beer sitting there as like the offering, stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah. The people throw a lot of random stuff there.
Yeah, and then they drink it eventually. Like,
Do they?
Yeah, that's what Ma was saying.
What do we got next?
Dom feels free in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird because Dom, he has he's from France and he has businesses there and he lives here part time as well with his family, and he said that in Vietnam he feels much more free than in France, which is super counterintuitive because this is a communist country and you think, oh, this is like very anti-freedom, which in theory like communism is, and in theory democracy is like very much more like freedom oriented. But he said that and he kind of explained as a very small example, like you can walk down the street and drink a beer here, like there aren't all these sort of like regulations and rules and all these things you have to abide by that for better or for worse you do in the US.
And he does mean specifically like in the country out here, because like he talks about how there's just no cops out here, or very few cops in Duc Hoa, yeah.
I think he also means the country in general.
The country
Like
in general,
Vietnam.
yes, but also Duc Hoa.
It's funny, he was, one thing he was mentioning is like how he brings his own bottle to bars and like stuff like that here, and it's just kind of like a hassle as a customer at bars here. And he said he prefers to own a bar in France and be a customer here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how like in France, when the way the tax system's set up there is if you buy a business for a certain amount and you build it for X amount of years and you sell it, you get taxed for 36% of the growth of the business. And so his business grew from 200,000. He bought it for 200 and then sold it for like 1.2 million or something like that.
1.5. but-
Yeah, and then so he got taxed like $336,000.
Yeah.
Which like that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, those taxes, that's similar to the States.
yeah, I'm sure. I was just like
Yeah.
bringing that up.
Yeah, it's wild. That's a lot of cash, man. But also, like, what he's saying about is, like, being a business owner in France and a customer here. Like, that's pretty much what we're doing. We're trying to get customers elsewhere and spend our money here where it can go a lot further. There's something to be said for that.
For sure.
Walker,
For
you felt
sure.
uncomfortable the other night.
Yeah. So the other night I had like a really far from home experience, which for me, like out of the three of us, I
Weird.
think I'm the most comfortable with being out here, like being super far from home and like in a foreign environment. And so it was a very odd thing for me. I felt very comfortable throughout here. But what happened was my Vietnamese girlfriend was out visiting from Saigon, and we went to that like roadside seafood restaurant that we talked about earlier that we went to like 3 times in a row. And there's a very, very flamboyantly gay waiter, which is
Blue
cool.
hair.
Blue hair.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's nice. He does a good job, and whatever. It's no concern. But there's also there's a ladyboy sitting there, like a 60-year-old ladyboy.
60?
60-year-old?
Like 60.
Okay,
60,
okay.
yeah, like 50 to 60. And I use the word ladyboy because it's the word that they use here. It's like part of the culture. It goes back like thousands of years. They've had.
As he defends himself.
Yeah,
It's
trying
fun.
to just stave off people really quick. So anyways, this is like ladyboy there, and I sit down and I'm facing the inside of the restaurant, and my girlfriend is facing the street, and we make eye contact and like we acknowledge with them because I'm a foreigner. I stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
And it's fine, whatever. They're like laughing, giggling at me, and the thing was they like tried to make me uncomfortable by like really overtly. He like said hello. He like walked up and walked very like slowly and like did this and like popped out his butt.
They like that move.
And
The butt.
and it was just
Yeah.
like yeah. And it was very obviously then they went and like I was like yeah hello, and they were laughing about it, and they could tell that I felt pretty uncomfortable, and like the waiter relayed the joke like to the cook or whatever, and you just felt it was
That's
like
funny.
it was like
They're
it was a
messing
very
with
they were definitely messing with me, and it was a very like, hey, I'm here, this is me, like you're in my country, I'm gonna make you feel a little uncomfortable because why not?
Yeah.
And I'm cool with it, but I was just like sitting there, I was like, man, I am very far from home right now, sitting at a roadside stop in like rural Vietnam.
Getting hassled by the bar staff and a ladyboy.
Yeah, and it was just like, I felt it was weird. It was a very like uncomfortable feeling, which I'm glad that I got to have, because I do, as much as this place starts to feel comfortable to me, it's so important. Like one of the main reasons I do this is to feel uncomfortable, because that's really where growth happens. That's where if you're comfortable living in Cedar Rapids, Iowa every day, and like working in a stuffy obstacle, time can just fly by in a blur. And it's when you get into a situation like that where a minute feels like an hour, and you're just like, looking at your girlfriend as like they laugh at you and just trying to be like, okay, it's fine or whatever. And so
How you doing, Dom?
Yeah.
We're almost done.
Yeah, we're almost done. Yeah,
Poke in.
we used your little camera stand there. Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah.
My manager come back.
He did?
He did.
Go.
Oh, yeah, what happened to him?
He love sick, broken his girlfriend.
Love sick.
Broken
Love
his
sick.
fun.
All right.
I asked him. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll send you.
This is the original Red Bull.
Yeah.
This is
We'll send you the recipe.
The recipe. Evan, you have the recipe, and we're still doing
You've been
this?
holding out on us. I don't know why recipe came out, because I guess he just said recipe, but I meant to say location.
He take everything of the logo.
Yeah.
The logo the
Yeah,
same.
yeah.
He takes the same.
Yeah.
He take everything. This man.
Yeah, but this guy still ended up being one of the richest people in the world, though.
Yes.
He died a couple years ago.
Yeah.
He died at 89.
The Thai guy.
Yeah, the Thai guy.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, the other guy made a lot of money too, but this guy was still rich, so in the end, it's okay. He was a billionaire.
Really?
Yeah, this guy was
Really?
very rich.
Off Red Bull.
Yeah, and actually, so I guess some people don't know that story. So this is the original Red Bull, as we've been drinking the whole episode. And what happened was a guy from Austria, not Australia.
I'll bet you money it was Australia.
He was in Thailand and had this energy drink and really liked the taste and thought he could change it and adapt it to the European market. And so he did. And now it's the Red Bull that you guys probably all know and love. And
skate.
And skate, yeah, for sure. But, I mean, obviously Red Bull did a fantastic job marketing, but if you didn't know, all Red Bull that you've ever had in the U.S. is made in Austria. So it's all made in the Austrian Alps.
Like Sydney or Melbourne or where?
Yeah, so anyway.
What percentage of their GDP is this?
Oh, I don't know the specific rates,
Yeah.
but I do know that food and beverage is a really good portion of Austria's export GDP. And then when you look at Red Bull in that portion, it's a significant portion of their food and beverage export. Yeah. So it does a lot of business for the country.
Wow. And all thanks to Norman Balrog.
Trying to make a Norman Borlaug joke. I'll do an episode on Norman Borlaug.
Yeah. Please do.
Cool. Well, I don't know. I guess if you didn't know, Mother's Day is a thing that happens all around the world. It happened here too.
Yeah.
But other than
like a month ago.
Oh, another thing here. There's pineapples grow in bushes. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And Andy did.
I did.
But I didn't.
I hate pineapple.
He does. There's a couple. The reason I know is because there's a couple. Well, on this property they have cashew trees.
Cashew trees, which is that's why their logo is the cashew thing with wings.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and
I connected.
I think Keiju means cashew.
That wow, things are really coming together.
Yeah.
But they have cashew trees. They have pineapple bushes, and they have banana
things.
Things. I haven't seen them yet. I just know that they exist on the property. And I don't know. I think that's all the fruits they have.
Yeah. We had a weird fruit this morning. It was a chom chom.
I think you.
Joy oi.
Joy oi.
Do you have anything else, guys?
Do we have anything written down?
I think that's right about it. Who's that boy?
No, I don't have anything written down here. On here we have. The first major rains have come. That's a thing, I guess. But
look at Evan's notebook, and then that's.
Yeah, we found a good notebooks.
Cute dog. When you run out of
cute
paper,
dog eat a Pepsi.
When you run out of paper from the U.S., you buy cute little notebooks here.
Yeah.
And it works out, really.
Ooh, she shivered.
This was the trekyeah from your neighborhood kiddos.
Your two best buds.
See you next year.
See you next year. As we absolutely
4 episodes later.
For 100 years, trekyeah. Trekyeah, 100 years.
Only 9 more seasons, 100 years.
100 episodes.
1,000 years of trekyeah.
10 episodes down.